Nothing really new to add for today. We are just kind of reviewing parallelograms, triangles, and trapezoids, mixing them all together. We're going to find the area on those. So first thing we need each time, we need to know the formulas, or as we're working, we need to identify the shapes. So you have to be able to tell the difference between a parallelogram, a triangle, and a trapezoid. Triangle's easy. How many sides on a triangle? 3. The other two each have 4 sides, okay? To tell the difference between a parallelogram has 2 sets of parallel sides. So you know those 2 sides are parallel. Those 2 sides are parallel. For the trapezoid, that's not how that works. You only got 1 set of parallel sides. The other sides are not parallel. They would eventually cross if we kept the lines going. All right, so parallelogram. What's the formula for area of a parallelogram? Base times height. All right, triangle. Base times height divided by 2 is correct. And the trapezoid. Not quite. You said that just a little bit off. No. We're not multiplying bases. We can do it that way. Base plus base. And remember, I'm putting the addition there in parentheses because that's got to come first. So divided by 2 times the height. And we can change the order on that multiplication or division, right? You can multiply by the height first, or you can divide by 2 first. I would base it off of whether the division or the addition part there is even or odd. If it's an even number, go ahead and divide. If it's an odd number, probably multiply first. You might have just misspoke. You said base plus height and then had the times height at the end too. Any questions on those? You'll notice each one just kind of adds a little bit to the other ones, right? We got base and height being multiplied. Base and height being multiplied for a triangle and then divided by 2. Well, we got the bases and the height being multiplied for a trapezoid and we're dividing by 2, but we also have to do that addition. So each shape just adds a little bit of a step to it. All right, we'll start with a parallelogram. Go ahead and give that one a try. Find the area on that one. Who's got an answer for this one? 72 is correct. So, area for parallelogram, like we said before, is base times height. The base and the height have to make a 90-degree angle on all of these, and we see a 90-degree angle right there. We have to remember the base is that whole part of the shape. In this case, we got to add up those 2 numbers. So we got a 4 and an 8. That makes our base 12, whole thing. So for the area, we're doing 12 times 6, and like we said, that is 72. All right. Any questions on that? All right, try the triangle. All right, who's got an answer for this one? Brian? 100 is correct. For a triangle, like we said, that's base times height divided by 2. Right? So which number is my base? 20. Which one's the height?
10.
So we got 20 times 10. I don't know why I was writing height again. 20 times 10 divided by 2. Well, we can change the order a little bit to make them easier numbers to work with. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 times 10 gives us that 100. Okay? Any questions on the triangle? Really, the only way triangles can get a whole lot trickier is when you add the extra numbers to it. Sometimes that makes it just a little bit more confusing, but they're all about the same. All right, trapezoid. Try to make a tough one for you. Other than maybe adding in a couple extra numbers, I feel like this was about as tough as I could make one for a trapezoid. All right, who thinks they've got an answer? All right, first thing we do is base plus base. He said the answer was 120. That was correct. So when we add the bases, what we have to remember, we got a base here. The other base is here. Those are the parallel sides. Well, the part some people might forget or leave out, in between these threes, we still have a 12 down there. It's like there's a rectangle in the middle there, so that means that 12 comes across. So when we add them up, I got 12 on top, 3, 12, 3 makes 18. 12 plus 18 is 30. We divide that by 2, that's 15. And then we do 15 times the height, which is 8 in this case. 5 and 8 is 40. 8 and 1 is 8, plus the 4. That gives us area 120. Any questions on that one? I said, if you know what you're doing or you're paying attention to how it looks, it shouldn't be super tough, but that was about as hard as I can make a trapezoid.